What up?
Hey,
What up? Hey,
hey,
you just hey, hi,
oh, hey.
hey guys. This is the PR Project, episode number 83. If you are watching this live on YouTube, what up? I can see your face. We like you. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you are listening to this on the podcast platform, thank you for tapping in. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast. And why are you making this face,
I
Gary?
mean, hopefully the podcast drops so that they can hear it, but that's a whole different story.
Duh, duh. See now you see what I'm saying is whose side are you on? That's what I'm saying. At the moment we are I was gonna say we, but apparently it's not a we thing. When something goes wrong, it's Tommy. When some everything's right, it's we. Um the PR project, I am having a difficult time uploading the last episode onto the podcast platforms of all of your choices. So soon we'll get that figured out. Both of these episodes will probably drop right around the same time as soon as I break whatever. I got to figure out how to make this happen. But if you are listening to whatever episode, Gary, see like that statement that I made. That's what they call in the business evergreen. Okay, I could have made that statement, and it would no one would ever know the difference. But of course,
Yeah, I
you
know.
have to throw me under the bus.
Yeah, well, you know what? I'm gonna let it go. I said my piece on Instagram earlier this week.
What did you say?
I made a nice little reel about you talking shit, you talking
Wait,
crap on
no,
a different podcast.
this is not your podcast, Gary. This is a we podcast. Okay, there's no foul language on this podcast, sir.
Yeah, damn right.
Watch your damn mouth, Gary. Um,
Hey, well,
yeah,
hold
you
on.
did.
We should
Well,
say
I
something.
didn't say that. I didn't start that. So go ahead.
We should though. We should
Oh,
acknowledge
it's we now.
that we are missing a co-host.
I didn't even realize it.
Our co-host Aaron is currently on assignment in Paris of the Midwest.
Paris of the Midwest. So I didn't even know that Detroit was called the Paris of the Midwest at one point.
Yeah,
You knew
like
that. So what was
yeah,
that time like? What was that time like live in the city, Gary?
we had an Eiffel Tower. It was pretty sweet. It wasn't as obviously it wasn't as big as the one in France,
Yeah.
but it was bigger than the one in Texas. So,
Is there
uh,
an Eiffel Tower in Texas?
oh man, yeah, it is.
Is it bigger than the one in Las Vegas?
No, no, no. It's got a 10-gallon can on top of it though.
Hmm,
It's in the
that's
middle
fitting.
of the most sketchiest
Hey,
town I've ever been in my life.
hey, shout out to everybody from that town. There's no shade coming from us. We're just saying.
I'm just saying.
This is one of those we moments. It's just Gary. I don't know.
I will take full responsibility. If you have been to Paris, Texas, let
It's
me know in the
Paris,
chat.
Texas.
It's called Paris,
It
Texas.
sounds like a lovely place, bro.
They
I'm
have
not
an
sure.
Eiffel Tower in the middle of this big old field with a red cowboy hat on top. If you have been to Paris, Texas, let me know in the chat and tell me if I'm wrong about what kind of surroundings are in that area.
I mean, but I'm saying when you went to Paris, Texas, what was this? 1900 what?
No, this is like 3 years ago.
I tried. I tried.
Yeah.
I tried. Um, if you're listening to this podcast, thank you for listening. So, yes, Aaron is not with us today. He will be with us again, hopefully sometime soon. He is out and about in the world, living up life and doing research for the Olympics from Detroit. Um, that may or may not be Cap. We're not sure, but he is with us in spirit and in heart and mind. And what was I saying? Oh, subscribe to the podcast, all that stuff. Thank you so much for tapping in. And if you are listening and you want to see our faces, jump over to YouTube. And if you're on YouTube and you want to just like ride in your car later on and tap back in and listen to us because we're so insightful and funny and amazing, then you can listen to us on all podcast platforms. Make sure you mash that subscribe button and leave us like a comment or something or like a review.
Speaking of,
That's
oh, go ahead.
hilarious. That is
Yeah,
so
yeah.
true. That's so true. Paris, Texas sounds like a sundown town.
Mm,
I think this is Day, right? Yeah. Is that Day? Um,
yeah, yeah,
yeah, it does sound like
yeah.
a sundown town. And if you don't know what sundown town means, Google it because I'm not going there with you today. Yeah, so Gary,
Speaking of being on assignment,
yeah.
Tommy, why don't you tell
Oof,
us about
so
all your amazing travels that you've been on. We'll give you about 30 seconds to
30
wrap up.
seconds. All right, guys. It's this segment's called Time It Travels. Yeah, so I've had the honor and privilege of travel quite a bit lately, and I'm happy to kind of be done with that, but we'll get to that in a minute. But first it was Atlanta Peachtree, which I was here to talk about that. But then after that, I went to London 10K with Saucony. Saucony took over the London 10K recently. This is their first year handling it as like the main sponsor. Before it was another brand, but so this is their first time like having it. They did a really great job. They actually had two people come out from the US, which is myself, and then Herm Runs. Herm
Friend
has
of the
been
show.
friend of the show. Herm has been doing a lot of work with Saucony over like the last year or so. So it was like perfect fit. I got invited. It was great, really, really fun. I intended to go out there and like do a summer of speed, like straight up vibe. Like I went in there, London 10K. You know what? I just ran Peachtree. What was it? 10 days before, because it was the 14th of July. I ran Peachtree 10 days before. So I'm gonna go to this London 10K, Gary, and I'm gonna smash it. That's what I
You gonna
said to
kill it?
myself. I'm gonna, yeah. They're not even gonna. They're gonna name it the Tommy London 10K after I get done with this 10K, and then got out of the gate. Um, 0.75 miles in, I decided that it wasn't my day, Gary. I was like, you know what? I don't
Yeah.
know, like honestly, like it just wasn't a good day for me out there. Um, I was able to finish and I patched it together. It was like one of those races where it's like you have all like your mind is ready to go. I think my mind was ready to go. I'm not really sure. But then my body was like, no, we're not doing it. So they made a compromise, the body and mind, and then we just like figured it out.
Was it
But it
one of
was
those races? Well, I got a couple questions here. One, did
oh,
you think do you think you had jet lag issues?
I think I had jet lag issues, but I'm not really. I mean, you not really know, I guess. Like, I think
Yeah.
I slept fairly well. I had like a bad allergy thing going, like from like Saturday morning through like Tuesday after I even got back. So it was like I think I was dealing with that with jet lag, but then also just like all the traveling adding up. I think
Yeah.
it's just like it's hard to train. It's hard to like have everything like line up properly to race well. So it just wasn't like the best day, but it was a beautiful like I would happily go back because it was it was a 10K race and I don't know like what the exact amount, but like it seemed like 80% of the course or 70% of the course maybe was on the London Marathon course. Like it ended in the same area ish, not in the same, not right in front of the Buckingham Palace, but a lot of like the finishing stretches were about the same. So it had a lot of the same vibes. It seemed like all the same people from the London Marathon stumbled out of the bars at the same time because it was really
Hooray!
hey pubs. I'm sorry, pubs. Hey, yeah, like I saw the same guys like screaming. But it was a really good vibe, wonderful trip. London's a really cool place. Um, I
Do you
had
think do you think once you because you kind of you said you patched it together, once you got started, you realized this wasn't gonna be a race,
oh, I
but you still
stopped
had
a
a
couple
decent
times too.
time.
Yeah,
Right. But
I
you had
think
a
I had a
decent
decent
time.
time.
You were below 40, right?
Yeah, that's what it's
Yeah.
like. It feels stupid to say, but I mean, I was going for like in my mind, I was going for a PR like ish
Yeah.
type of effort, and it just to have it fall off like so fast, like earlier, I was just like this ain't happening. Just was kind of like disheartening. Like I mean, it wasn't a bad race. It was just like dang, like I wish
Yeah.
it just like sometimes like you go a stretch where it's like every so many races that you race, there's a legitimate excuse to not do well. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh, it's
I think
hilly. It's hot. It's this like, I just want a race where it was like, oh, I was just trash. You know what I'm saying? Like I just wanted one race where it was just me,
yeah.
I don't want jet lag to be a part of it. I don't want heat or hills or hay fever.
I think it's hard though, especially with the amount of, traveling you've been doing. You
Yeah.
still gotta train for these things.
Yeah.
And, you know, I remember a couple 5Ks a couple years ago I went into thinking, "Oh, I'm just gonna nail this," but
Hmm.
looking back on it, I wasn't doing 5K work.
Hmm.
I was just doing regular base miles and why would I PR these things? Like I'm not putting in the work for a 10K or 5K.
Yeah.
So I get it though. But your mind doesn't know that. Your mind's like, oh, I'm gonna nail this.
Yeah, yeah. And it's like, and I mean, I think I kind of like knew, like, hey, yeah, I'm not feeling the best, but I'm like, oh, I'm still about to try to go for this because, like, I don't feel that bad. And then
Right.
I just got up there and it just wasn't the day. But this isn't like it was a learning lesson. I was able to patch it together, like, ended out decently. So it was like, it is what it is. And then got back from there. And then just was that last week? Yeah, last weekend I was
Yeah.
invited to Charlottesville. Well, first I was dropping my kids off in Savannah. Because my mom lives in Savannah, so we went down there to spend some time with them. And then stopped in. My mom is like my mother slash like agent. So she like hit up How to Run, which is a store down in Savannah, who also gets nominated for like store of the year at TRE, like for the last like
Oh,
3 4
cool.
years straight. She hit up them because I think my grandma's like bought like some shoes from there before too. So she hit them up and said, hey, my son will be here, he should, some of your people might know him. Have him pull up. And so they had me pull up. Some people did. Some people came out because I was going to be there. We ran 4 or 5 miles as a group from the store. It's called How to Run. And then like legit, like I sat down on the middle floor and like people sat around and I just talked for 20 minutes or whatever it was. And people asked questions and I kind of told my story and people had a lot of feedback. So it was really fun. It was actually a really it was good. It was like, sometimes like you be on podcasts or whatever, and some days your story kind of like everything kind of your mind flows correctly and it just
Yeah.
like everything presents itself well, or you present everything well. And then there's other times where it's just kind of hard to you just not feel comfortable or whatever. It was one of those times where I was able, all my thoughts were like aligned the right way and it came out probably more impactful the way that I told my own story. It just was a really great time. It was a really cool event.
Nice.
Um, and then after that, like while I was in Savannah, I hopped on a flight during all the IT outage things. I should have documented the fact that I slept in the Atlanta airport. But I was so over it, bro. Like looking back, it would have been perfect content. Like I could have been like people were camped out in the airport. It was ridiculous. But
Making
uh,
s'mores, singing
yeah,
campfire
there's like
songs.
somebody had a fire going, like a bonfire out of a barrel or whatever. But then I went to Charlottesville, Virginia, because of an invite from Prolific. Prolific Run Crew is down in Charlottesville, Virginia. Um, uh, Littles is who's the founder of the club or one of the founders of the club invited me down. They do a lot of work with Brooks. They actually, Gary, I'm not sure if you remember, but they had the Prolific Soul Sisters. 7 of them trained
Yep.
down in Charlottesville, Virginia, to come up to run their all 7 first marathon at the Detroit Free Press last year.
Yeah, they
Brooks,
had a really good documentary about that too. If you guys want to check it out.
yeah,
Yeah.
Brooks, dang, we got to get that link. Brooks actually, um, Brooks did the documentary with them, and like they backed that whole thing, and they invited me to this thing, but I missed the group run that was supposed to be like collab with Tommy Runs or whatever because of the flight situation. But I was able to make it like right when they were playing the showing of the Soul Sisters documentary with Brooks. And it was like I caught it right when it started. They had it in a theater. It was really cool. Like imagine like the Fox Theater in Detroit, but like a little smaller than that, I think.
Mhm.
But it was like full, like on the screen. Everybody was sitting back watching. It was like half, like they kind of took about half the place. A lot of people came out to watch it. It was really cool. Like, and it was really cool to see. And one thing that stood out to me, I think everybody should check out this documentary, was like you could tell that Brooks and whoever directed it didn't tell them to act any different than they normally would. Like they were dropping F-bombs and this and that. Like they were just being real. Like they were just like, it was almost like they were sitting talking to each other, but just looking at a camera. So it was really cool and very authentic. And just like that, you felt the real vibes, and they documented the journey up to here, the race
Yep.
day, the feelings, the vibes, the lessons, the how much Prolific as a group supported these 7 women in their process, and not just like getting there, but like for their long runs, they'd have people that weren't running volunteer to like man like water stations,
Yeah.
like just a random Sunday, like in a random workout day. And people come in, they had cheer squads, like, like just on a normal Sundays for them with no cameras around, no documentary happening. They just did this for people, which was really cool. So that was just
Let's
a really dope.
yeah, let's do our best to try and put that link in the show notes for the
Yeah,
podcast.
yeah, yeah, for
Yeah.
sure, for sure. But yeah, so it was just a really good vibe. And then I got to do that, and then the next day I had a long run. And it kind of shows you just how, like how supportive that group was, because they, like, people heard that I was running, they already had did their long runs like on a Saturday or whatever, and people showed up just to like run with me
Nice.
and all that. Like, so it was really dope. Let me see. I think I can. Oh yeah, this is it. Count it up. So I'm gonna drop the link in the show notes, or in the thing here right now, while we have everybody, if you want to like check it out. But so everybody showed up, and a bunch of people ran with me. Like, we picked up people along the way because they knew we were gonna be out there, so they would just like jump in when they could. It was a really dope vibe. So
Like,
here's
like,
the
like Rocky.
Yeah, like Rocky, but it was just a lot less people at the end. But there's the link in the notes of the show. You should check it out. Definitely give it a view. Subscribe to the Prolific channel as well. So that was that. What do we got? What do we had next, Gary?
We're gonna talk
Oh,
about,
and then
now that you're home,
I
what's
talked to
yeah.
Melissa, our coach, and was
Mhm.
like, because honestly, during the London race, I was like, yo, I'm over this. Like, I don't want to run anymore. Like, I need to take 2 weeks off. The long run in Charlottesville actually went really well. So that was like a good heading in the right direction. But I was able to sit with her or talk to her on the phone, like, look, I got big goals for like the fall, and I don't want to let those go. But I do have to realize travel was a lot. And what are we going to do now, like, to continue going forward? So, like, having the conversation with my coach and kind of reestablishing that I still want to go after these bigger goals that I have, and that I want her to know, like, don't lean back, but I also want to talk more often. So it's like, don't just keep dropping like the schedule, but let's talk a little bit more about like pre-workout, like what are the thoughts I need to be thinking about to get sharper, what do I
Mhm.
need to be trying to do, and all these other things. So like that was a really cool conversation, and her saying like, hey, look, travel's cool and fun, but it does add up. You don't know it's adding up until it's like on you.
Right.
And it was cool to hear her say, because she traveled a lot during her career, as a runner, so it's like she understands like what travel can do in that sense. So it was cool. And then now I'm like, I'm thinking back to like 2021 when I qualified for Boston. Like, what mindset was I in, and like what was keeping me in that thing? One, you had said yesterday about like the naivete of it all. Like, I didn't
Yeah.
even know what I was getting into. But I was also super hype on it. Like, I was also like very into running too. So I was like watching like documentaries about running, or like watching races that I've seen 100 times, just having it play like while I would work and stuff like that. So like lately I've been like tapping back into that, because that was a good time for me. Like, it wasn't just like I wasn't overdoing it. It's just like that's just what I do. Like, if I'm into skateboarding, which I'm not, but if I got into skateboarding tomorrow, like, it's gonna be skateboarding everywhere. Like, I'm gonna be
Right.
looking at it, watching it, and all that stuff. So why not do it with something that I love this much, and that I'm about to like lay it on the line for?
No, that's great. I get that too. I get having, it's not a remotivation, it's putting yourself back in a mindset where you were you're most successful,
Yeah,
or
right. There you go.
very successful for that matter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um so in especially if you get a good race to watch, whether it's a Chicago marathon or New York marathon, something
Mhm,
that a course that you might have run on or will be running on soon. Because not only do
mhm,
you can kind of get hyped about, the race you're coming up, you get to find parts of the course that either you remember or you want to keep in mind going into it.
mhm.
I've watched before every major marathon. I've watched all the course previews, the races, just looking for anything to say, is this going to give me trouble? Is this going to be
Mm,
hype? You know, um, okay, they're on my, like, everybody watches the first beginnings of the race, but like, what's going on at mile 15, 16, 17, when you're just
yeah,
trying to
yeah,
get through that last part. So I get that because it motivates you, it keeps you thinking strategically and tactically, and now I kind of want to start watching some marathons, which I might be soon. A couple weeks anyway.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's in this. I mean, and it's like that type of thing where it's like, it's I don't have to pay too much attention to it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not like I have to like watch every second of a marathon, like especially if I've seen it before. Oddly, bro, Chicago 2023 when Kelvin broke the world record, isn't that fun of a race to watch? Because like he
It's so
leaves
flat.
everybody. He leaves
Oh,
everybody at like mile 17, and then he's just running by himself, and you have no idea like how fast he's going, other than the splits that they say.
yeah.
Safan Hassan is like running by herself, and then she turns around and runs backwards to get a water bottle. Like it's like what's going on here?
Yeah. No,
But
no,
like
no. Yeah. I get that.
like a Berlin in like 2018, back when like Kipchoge was winning. Sounds crazy, but like back when like Kipchoge was like winning, like when he wearing 201:30 or whatever, 28 or whatever it was,
Yeah. Oh
um,
my God.
or 201:09. He was with people until about like 20, 21, 22, and then he put on his like legendary surge. You know what I'm saying? So it was a little more exciting. When you drop everybody at 16 miles, 17 miles, it's kind of a boring race to watch. You know, it's not even a race. It's just you running against a clock that we can't really see what's going on.
Yeah.
But
No, that's the. I think that's one of the problems with watching a marathon on television is it's not like watching
yeah,
any other race because they're all focused on the leader and they're not telling
yeah,
the stories, which is a whole different discussion. But they're not telling the stories of the people behind them. You
yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah.
So
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, got it. I hear you. I hear you. But yeah, man, like I think it's a great time to be alive and to run. And I think that we want to jump into something really quick because we got a few things to do here, Gary. We got to bounce all around.
yeah.
So, what do you want
What
to
would you
do
like to
right
do
now?
first?
What would you
think we
like to
should.
do, Gary?
I think we should. We have 3 Puma Deviate Nitro 3s to give away today to catch up from where we've been. I think as part of the Summer of Speed powered by Puma, I want to throw that in there. I think we should give away the first of 3 pairs. If you've got the
Yeah, let's do
raffle
it. Yeah, let's do it. Yeah,
pulled
because
up.
yeah, sorry guys, I have been in and out of the office. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, big shout out to Puma. Did you just do that?
I have not said a shout out, but I've said that the power
Yes.
we've been powered by Puma.
Big shout out to Puma for sponsoring, empowering the Summer of Speed. 12 weeks of shoe giveaways. We were backed up a little bit because I was out and then we were out and all this other stuff. So we're doing 3 shoes today. Let's do the first one now. Gary, is that what you
Yeah,
want to do?
do it now.
Do it. We're doing it live.
Do it
have you
live.
have you seen that?
Oh my god, I've seen that.
Bill
And I've seen
O'Reilly.
the Family Guy version with Stewie.
Yeah, yeah. Do it live. All right, well, let me hide these names first. Everybody's there, so don't get weird about it. We're all
No,
there.
I'm just for
I
something to
just
write on. Here we go. I
all
gotta
right, hold
reach
on.
out to these fine folks afterwards.
Fine folks indeed. All right. All right. So can you see that? Can we see it? We're all seeing here?
Yep.
Yep, there we go. There we go. All right, let's hit spin here. This is for the first shoe of the Deviate Nitro Elite, I'm sorry, Deviate Nitro 3, which I have in my hand.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Oh,
Stephanie
nice.
McPartland wins. Okay, cool. That's the first winner of the day. Wins the Puma Nitro Deviate Nitro 3. Very, very good training shoe. You got that name written down, Gary?
All set. She'll be get. Well, I'll contact her after the show. Get her
All
information
right,
for
sweet,
us.
sweet. Congratulations, Stephanie. And then we will move on and get back into our conversation. We'll be doing that 2 more times in the episode. So stay tuned if you want to win live, because why would you not want to win and be here to say, oh my God, I just won? You know, like I want people to call in like, I never won anything before. You know what I'm
Long
saying?
time listener, first time caller.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So yeah, to talk about, I think this is thing he's talking about. Tunde's talking about Chicago. I remember hearing the people at the aid station saying a new world record pushed me to my PR. Oh, sweet. So he was in the race.
Nice.
Dang, I never thought about that. That's sweet.
Yeah.
That's sweet. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
I can get hyped for that. You know, like I'm literally running the fastest marathon it's ever been. I want to be a part of this.
Yeah. Wow. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Good
And then
work. Good work.
Mark's like, what? Saturday night? Yeah, we're doing it live. We're doing it live.
That's
Yeah.
right, Mark.
We are here.
We're
We are here.
we're always trying to throw you off a little bit, Mark, but you caught on. Nice, good to have you here.
Yeah, so and if you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask us at any moment. But there's so much going on. Like we're trying to catch up. We got different things going on. We really need Aaron here to help us keep everything in under control, but we're trying to figure this out. Gary, what's been happening in your life lately? I feel like today on the run, you felt like the energy that you brought to the run today was like a little like it was like a little escalated. I'm not really sure like if you've been watching something that's kind of got you like hype or just like more into like the sport. I'm not sure like what's happening with you.
So, we're talking about watching, marathons and whatnot and getting you ready and getting hyped up. I've been watching the Olympics. Like I watched the
Gary,
whole the whole opening ceremony last night. And then today I've been flipping through tons of different sports. Like I'm an
Gary,
expert, like every American around this time of year, I'm now an expert on surfing, judo. I'm an expert on table tennis, handball.
that's all happening right now.
It's been happening all day today. Yeah. Swimming, diving.
Wait, okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what? So I
Gymnastics
mean,
started.
like, I really can't blame you because during the pandemic, I would watch like an hour or two long of like cornhole matches. So,
Oh, and
um,
that's the other thing. I didn't realize this. It's not an Olympic sport. And Megan wouldn't let me watch it. But the World Cup of Foosball is also going on right now.
bro, I saw a highlight on Instagram of like some foosball dude like setting a shot up for himself, and it baffles. I don't even understand like how a person could do that, like the way that they do it.
You should have
So what's
seen
your?
these table tennis guys. The way they
Oh,
would
they're
serve,
real.
they would
Was
put like they almost like
Forrest Gump?
hide the paddle to serve. Like it was like
Yeah, because they
yeah.
just they wanna get that that
But
that
but, they,
that
but, they, but
surprise.
then but they would do it, but then it'd be like dink. Like they wouldn't even like
Oh yeah, yeah. It would be like they psych you out, and it'd be
yeah.
oh you because you back up because you think that
No, you
they're
thought
gonna
it was
be
coming. You thought
spiking.
it was going to heat.
Oh, you
No,
thought
no.
it was oh yeah no soft right over the thing.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I wonder if like anybody would be offended if I said that like table tennis might be harder than real tennis.
I don't think so.
No.
I mean, you're talking hand-eye coordination, smaller ball. Pause. So you got a little paddle. I don't know, man. The problem with table tennis watching it is like you don't get the
Mhm.
volleys like you would in real tennis. So
You
it's not
don't?
like, a couple, but then it
Nah,
stops
man,
and they
no.
just start all over.
Wait, is it over? It's not over yet. This is like the preliminaries, right?
Yeah, they're like doing the
Oh
round
yeah,
robin.
they got to get rid of the
Yeah,
bums,
yeah. But like it's just not as it's kind of fun to watch like the quick mechanics at first, but then you're like
Mhm,
they're just having to stop and start, stop and start, stop and
mhm,
start. Where I feel like
mhm.
tennis has a bit more of a flow.
Yeah, yeah. Tennis is like you're getting a lot of like back and forth action. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? And there's a lot
yeah,
of volleys that just. Oh, I see what you're saying.
yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. You know what? Like, bro, I could at least I could return Roger Federer's like I
No,
could easily volley with Roger Federer, easily, bro.
absolutely not. And this
Russell
goes back to the old conversation we had about
Raf no, Raf
Maria.
like Raf like Rafa, bro. Come on. I could return any serve except for like Ben, what's his name? The young boy from he's on. He serves like 130 something miles an hour. Other than that, I could bro easily volley with any of those
Can you
guys.
hit a 90-mile-per-hour fastball? Could you go to the batting cages and they set it to 90?
Bro,
Could
bro,
you hit that?
bro,
Could you? Yes or no?
bro.
Yes or no?
No, probably not, but the
Then you
bat is
cannot
much small.
return a
The but the
hundred
bat
miles
the
per
bat
hour.
the bat is much smaller. The bat is much smaller than the tennis racket, dog.
Oh, is that your excuse?
That's not the excuse, that's the reason.
Nah,
I'm telling
nah.
you. Call Roger Federer up right now out of retirement and I will volley with him at least 10 volleys.
I'll call my high school tennis coach out of retirement, and you still probably can't.
Man, guys, leave something in the chat. If you feel like you got faith in me, I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Uh yeah. Wait, well, hold on. What did you say? The area you got to cover is way larger than a baseball diamond. Are you talking about like running around? Like to man, bro, like my lateral movement, I've been told that I have of like the lateral movement and like the soft touch of a butterfly when I move, bro.
They all say that.
Dog, so
People
many people.
people say.
Y'all always be saying, you know.
uh,
But no, why does nobody have any faith in me? I'm telling you, the tennis, bro, tennis people don't really, they're not even that athletic for real.
I hope Mari's not on this.
I know. No, but listen, I think that I could at least return serves,
No, no way.
bro. You,
You
I've never been not good at
you
anything
you
I
would
tried,
you would that the racket would literally fall, like rip out of your hand.
bro.
Literally.
Have you seen this? See, that's where that's where that's where you're wrong. That's where Tommy Guns comes in too. Like, come on, man.
No, Tommy Gunn has nothing to do with it. We're talking grip strength.
All right, listen, just because, whatever, man, whatever. I'm gonna show up in Alpha Fly threes because they're the ones that are even most. Bro, trust me, I got this. Trust
Yeah,
me.
nothing
I
says
don't know.
agility
Okay,
on a
I
tennis
don't,
court like giant
I
super
don't,
shoes.
I don't know about the clay courts because that probably will throw me for a loop a little bit because of the sliding. But other than that, bro, come on, come on, come on. Like Serena Williams really wasn't that impressive. If you think all right. This
I apologize to Serena, Venus, and the whole Williams family. I apologize to Will Smith on behalf of the Williams family.
for the movie, for the different on behalf of the family.
Will Smith is gonna come over and say, "Keep their
Oh,
names."
keep my tennis matches out your mouth. All right, I'll just take everything I said back. Now that you brought up Will Smith, you're right. I don't want to get slapped. But yeah, I'm really excited about the Olympics and like all that's coming along with it. I gotta tap in because like apparently I'm missing stuff. Maurice said that they're doing breaking. Are they breaking already?
I don't think they're breaking yet. I don't think that
Okay.
started yet. But like right now, because we're
I
at
could
like,
definitely compete for that. At least I could probably get into the second round of breaking.
I got nothing. I don't know if I
I'll
mean you're
tell
almost
you,
40, so like your agility has got to be
bro.
kind of off a little bit.
What are you saying, Gary?
I'm saying once you turn 40, you shouldn't be doing headspins.
Oh, see, that's where. See, this is where I could tell you not you ain't did no research. This is where I can tell you ain't did no research, bro. Listen, there's different styles of breaking. Like you don't have to spin on your head in order to be a break dancer.
Well, no, not if you don't want to win.
I could do I could do the worm with like the best of them. I would probably bust my face open if I tried to do the worm
You know,
right now.
I was watching before the show was surfing. They're out in Tahiti.
You
French
said it was
Polynesia.
6-story waves?
They said the waves are like they can get up to 6 stories, but it was kind of fun watching them because they're trying just to get out there. They can't even they're having a hard time like paddling over it, even like the smaller waves,
Yeah.
just to get to the big waves.
Yeah.
And then you see this one cameraman bouncing in the water. He's just up to his head.
Oh, he's got like a floating device.
Yeah,
that's wild. He's risking everything for the wave.
Yeah. I looked.
How much you think he getting paid?
Oh, hazard pay for sure.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah.
Yeah. They didn't like catch him fresh out of college. $20,000?
Yeah. Hold this that way.
I bet you can't. No, they was like, I bet you can't go out there and hold a camera with some floaties on. Hold my beer.
Yeah.
Watch this.
Well, that's the other thing. I was watching water polo too. Speaking of like no floaties.
Yeah. I couldn't do that. I couldn't do water polo because
I played water polo before. That's hard.
Yeah,
that's hard too. They beat you up on that.
Yeah, that's like football, rugby, water, and like swimming together.
Yeah.
And all those together I just would feel like it'd spell disaster for me.
Gary. No, it's not easy. I did it high school and college, like just playing around with my teams.
Yeah,
swimming team and track team.
Cool. So. Did you guys wear like leather helmets?
No. It was unprotected, throw the ball as hard as you can at somebody's face.
Unprotected. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I got to tap in. The Olympics is. I'm just sitting around waiting for like the running to start, but I gotta tap.
Me too, but I do like watching like these unusual. I watched judo today, and that wasn't fun because I'm thinking like
No,
it's gonna be like Karate Kid, you
no, bro.
know?
There's no there's nobody standing there on one foot just waiting on somebody to walk up so they can do like a butterfly kick or whatever.
Why not?
I mean, I feel like everyone that's in that competition has saw that movie though before. So it's not like what are you gonna
I don't know,
surprise
man. These
somebody
people
with
are
Karate
young.
Kid?
Karate Kid came out like 40 years ago.
I feel like every first class you walk into in any karate class or any like thing like martial arts, I guarantee they're popping that tape in.
Everybody sit down. This
So
is
I
not
gotta
how
tell
it
you
works.
something. I'm
Also, wash my cars.
well, so judo is not blood sport was not judo, right? That was
No, judo is more like you throw people. It's
death
like
sport,
more,
not
yeah.
blood sport. Death sport.
Blood sport. Blood sport was the Jean-Claude Van Damme movie.
Ah,
Yeah.
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 That was intense, bro. The guy with the braid, whatever that guy from like Thailand or whatever. Oh man, he was brutal. Remember he was punching glass? Oh
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. That was intense. All right. Sorry. I got a little carried away there. Yeah. But I couldn't do the judo thing, but I could definitely do the tennis and breakdancing.
All right. Well, I heard challenge accepted. So
Bro, line it up, dog. PR project goes to the tennis court. Pick anybody out that can serve, and I'll return them.
return, like legit return, not like hit the ball
Return.
back.
No,
Return over the net, over the net, inbound.
don't try to start mixing up words and all this stuff. I'm saying return. And whatever that means, that's what it means, Gary.
No, you gotta hit the ball back over the net.
Bro, I think Maurice said I think Ant challenged the US table tennis team. Me and Ant cut from the same cloth, bro. I can do all this stuff. That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. 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 Mm-hmm.
All right, man, Gary. I don't know why you doubt me, but I don't know why you doubt me. But I feel like while we're on this rambling rant, because you all have been listening to this, tell us what sport or which race, if it's running, maybe it's running because this is a running show. Tell us what race you're looking forward to, like what people in the Olympics that are running that you're rooting for, or like whatever. Like if you're like, yo, I can't wait to see like Jakob Ingebrigtsen win or lose or this or that, or Noah Lyles go for the record or whatever. Drop your hot takes about the Olympics in the comments right now. We will talk about them. In the meantime, I think it's time maybe we jump back over and do one more shoe giveaway. What do you think, Gary?
I'm in. Let's do it.
Summer Speed giveaway. In the meantime, while we're spinning this wheel, hopefully you win. But while you're winning or before you win, drop a comment. Let us know who you're looking forward to watching in the Olympics, what sport, all that stuff, because we'd love to talk about it for a little bit here while we got some time. Let's jump back over to the wheel of fortune, the wheel of Puma DV8 Nitro 3. I'll hold the Puma DV8 Nitro 3 up in the air here. I'm hitting the button. We're going.
Here we go. Here we go.
This is for
Could it
another.
Could
Could
it
it be
be
you?
you?
It could be you. Tasha Lynn James. Tasha Lynn James has just won a pair of Puma DV8 Nitro 3s. Gary, you ran in the Puma DV8 Nitro 3s today. What do you think again?
I like these shoes. They don't feel like a trainer that has like a plate in them. They feel like a regular trainer.
They do have a little plate in there.
Yeah, but they don't feel like it. They feel super comfy, light on feet.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like what's the term I'm looking for? They're not super low to the ground. Like they got enough cushion. They don't feel like I'm super tall. You know what I'm saying?
No,
I'm not.
they feel like it feels like it's made by a brand that does good. That's been making running shoes for a little bit.
Yeah.
They feel like they're like intuitive a bit. I don't even know if that's the right word for it. Like they don't feel like they're an extension of you. They feel like it's just a shoe that's on your foot that's connected to the ground and connected to you. It's like one piece. It feels like it doesn't. Sometimes some of these shoes that are like this, like you said, Gary, like with the plate and the foam, it's a fun shoe. It's great like that, but it doesn't feel like it just feels like there's like a separation somehow, and it just doesn't feel like a smooth ride. but these do. Like these feel like you can pick up, you can slow down, you can run easy, you can run fast, you can do
And
intervals.
I can turn easy.
Yeah, yeah.
Sometimes
So
with like the thicker shoe, you can't do a sharp turn on those. But
I think
these
this is
right
I
along
think
with
this
these
is
as well.
deceiving. I think this is deceiving though. I think that like these look like there's more, but I think your foot sits down a little further in the shoe
Yeah,
than this anyway. But
yeah.
great shoe. Congratulations, Tasha Lynn James. You won a pair of Puma Deviate Nitro 3. All right, so we got some I think we got some comments, Gary,
Yeah, let's see what
in
we
the
got.
chat here.
Well, I do like this. I do like. You mean volleyball, like beach volleyball? Is that what you're asking? Because
Volleyball or on the bench in basketball? Hmm. I don't know.
I wonder if he means beach volleyball. Because I'm down for that. That's fun to watch. And I used to play beach volleyball with sand volleyball in the sand anyway. So not in
Hmm.
the beach, but
Yeah. Here.
yeah,
All right, so Maurice is looking
top
forward to
10
the
spot.
mixed relays. There's the mixed relay. What is that? The four? Is it just a bunch of different? Is there just one
I
mixed
think
relay, or
it's
is it
just
just
the
one?
4x1, but I think it's like one of the first races of the track and field.
Okay, I wonder who's on our team to start.
I don't know if they've decided yet, but
I mean, I
I'm
hope
going to
so.
assume it's Sydney.
Oh no,
um,
she's not gonna be in the 100. She wouldn't mess around with that.
but it's not the top tier race. No, you're right, but it's not the top tier. It's not like
That
Sha'Carri.
one won't be. That one won't be. If the all women's Shakira will be on, you know.
It'll be like Christian Coleman, who didn't make the 100. It'll be
Yeah.
like maybe even that what's the kid's name? The 16-year-old.
Oh wait, no, he would be in the 400
He might
relay.
be, but hey, let's just throw him in this
Was it Quincy Jones?
Quincy
Not Quincy Jones. Quincy Jones is the
Quincy Williams, Quincy Wilson.
no Wilson. Wilson. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, there's two
So
Quincy's on the 400, right?
yeah, there's a couple Quincy's, yeah.
Yeah,
And then we got we got McKinley says a marathon and track.
yeah,
That's a good point. Good point. Hassan doing 4 events. So
that's
she's doing she's doing the 1500, the 5000, the 10,000, and the marathon.
yeah, and
That
legit has a chance to medal in all 4.
yeah. I don't think she has a chance to win. She has a chance to win maybe 2 out of the 4.
Yeah, yeah. I hate to
Cuz
not
what's the
give her all
name?
the confidence in the world, but I mean that's a lot. That's a lot. So
No,
let's just
I
say,
just don't. I just don't even think on a normal day. I think she's not beating. Dang it, what's her name? She has the world record right now. She just broke her own world record. Dang it.
yeah,
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
She's not beating her. Yeah. Sorry, whoever that is. And then so Tunde said he's looking forward to Sydney, Ryan Benjamin. Wanted to see Noah lose. Okay. Talia Brooks in the HEP. She's I think she did really well recently, didn't she? And then Messiah Russell in the 100-meter hurdles because she from Maryland. All right, so that's a good lineup. Thank you so much for going in depth. I'm definitely
Well,
looking forward to
real quick,
Sydney.
going back to this. Did you, Twinty, did you watch Sprints? Is that
Yeah, did you watch
did you watch
yeah, did you watch
did you watch
yeah,
the documentary and you're like, I'm not a fan of Noah, or were you
not a
anti
fan
Noah
before.
before that? Just curious.
I don't feel like the documentary did him any harm. Like
No, me neither. That's why I'm kind of
I feel
curious to
like
see
I feel like if you watch the doc, like if you were on the fence, maybe you're like, okay, I get it, I understand. You know? Oh yeah, so Kipyegon, Faith Kipyegon,
yeah.
she's the one that's not going to be beat. But I'm really looking forward to. All right, guys, Sydney and versus
Femme
Femme
Cabot.
Cabot,
Yeah,
right? Do you
yeah.
think we'll see a sub 50?
Man, if anybody can push Sydney to that, it's Femme.
Yeah, I think we'll see. I think we'll see 2 sub 50s, and Sydney wins.
That's a big jump though, because it's like sub.
I think we'll see 2 sub 50s,
Okay.
and Sydney wins. That's what I said. Put it on wax. Write it down while y'all hitting up Roger Federer to get him out here on this court. All right, all right. What else we got? Noah is from the DMV too, though. Okay. So Tunde, what do you got to say? Noah's from DMV too, so Never been a fan, too cocky. I mean, but I feel like I get that, but I also feel like
It's
that
100
helps.
meters. I
That
mean,
helps the
sprint.
sport though too.
Yeah,
Like I get it, but he's he's bringing attention to the sport. If everybody's as quiet as some folks are out there, that like are just super impressive with their speed, and it's just they're just quiet. I think it just flies under the radar. Like you see
yeah,
with Shakari's character, even though it's like she had her rough patch or whatever with the whatever, and she didn't, she wasn't able to perform last year or last Olympic cycle. The energy and the character that she brings to the track and after and before and the style is like partly why women's 100 has like the energy it has right now, because she had to steal some of that, take some of that shine from the Jamaicans, really, like, so you gotta either go big or go home.
yeah. No, completely agree.
All right, and then Rick Huey is looking forward to the 1500, men or women's, actually both,
I
I
think
would
before
think.
the comment ahead of it was men's.
Oh, men, I'm
What
sorry,
he's
yeah,
looking for. Yeah,
men's 1500 is gonna be crazy.
yeah,
Crazy.
yeah.
I have a hot take.
Go for it.
Why do I always forget people's names when I say I have a hot take with one? Who's the kid from here?
Um,
Yeah, him.
Grant Fisher.
Huh? No, from here. The young
Oh,
dude who
uh-huh.
Hobbs Kessler. I say
Yeah.
Hobbs Kessler medals in the 1500. Sneaky medal. It's gonna be Josh Kerr and Jakob
Jakob.
Ingebrigtsen, and I'm not sure the order between those two, and then Hobbs Kessler sneaks in.
So he beats what's his name? Yared.
Yep,
Mm.
he beats Yard. Yep, I think Hobbs Kessler walks away with a bronze.
I'd be cool. I'm fine with that. Local kid,
That'd be
you know.
sweet. That'd be sweet. Yeah, see, Hobbs gonna go crazy. Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like the way that he ran and wherever we saw him last, he held up. Yard was pushing.
Olympic trials.
He held up. Yeah, let me try. Yard was pushing still. He was chilling. I mean, he wasn't chilling, but he wasn't going all out. All right. All right, Gary. I think we're getting a little too deep in the weeds here.
Nah, people are loving it.
No, I think people are loving this.
They're loving it.
I'm looking forward to Rai Benjamin, the 400. I'm looking forward to men's and women's 100 all day.
Yeah.
I don't think Noah gets anywhere. I don't think Noah gets close to the 100-meter world record. I think
Great.
he potentially gets close. Somebody gets close to the 200 world record, I say.
Yeah,
It's
I can see
close,
that.
close,
Close. Potential break, but
Nah. It's gonna be like if they break it, it's gonna be like 0.01.
right.
It's gonna be
That's what I'm
so like it's gonna be like, oh, we have a tie of the world record, and then like it takes over once they like verify the time. It's gonna be
I'll
one
be
of
honest,
those.
I haven't heard anything about this track. Like, is it I know it's probably top of
Where
the
is it?
line, but
Here.
is it a fast track? Like,
I don't even know. Did they make the track because of it?
I
Yeah,
don't know.
18 is a tall task. I don't even know how close Noah is to it already. Was he at 19.3
That's a
something?
good question. I don't know.
But I just feel like there's some big dogs in that race, and I think we'll see something crazy. I cannot wait. I
He's
cannot
at 13.
wait.
He's at 19.3. Yeah.
Hmm?
He's at
Um.
19.31.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I cannot wait to see who's my girl who runs the 200, Gabby Thomas. I cannot
Gabby.
wait to see Gabby Thomas run. The way that
Yeah.
she caught up, the way she just caught up in that race in Paris, it was London, like she closed out in the last 50, so crazy, so crazy.
She had a great trials as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think she just had a bad start and she still made it up, which is insane. Grant Fisher in the 10K, I think that's a solid take.
He's finally starting to kind of come into his
No,
own.
I don't think so. Is Woody Kincaid running the 10K?
I don't think he is. Is he? Does he make it?
Oh, because if he is, Grant Fisher doesn't have a chance.
But no, Grant's been running really well. I think he's kind of pushed through a little bit, like a mental block. I think.
I think Grant has to stop leading the pack.
I
He
mean,
can't lead. He cannot lead the pack in the last 6 laps at the Olympics and
it
win.
served him well at the Olympic trials.
Olympic trials, U.S. Olympic trials.
I'm just
He's
saying.
gonna be going up. He's gonna be going against the Kenyans and the Ethiopians of the world, who are gonna be like team tactics. He can't lead the race. He has to draft in because he doesn't have a kick for real. Like so, he's just one gear Willie, but he needs to like chill out and at least fall back to like third or something like that for a bit.
Yeah,
So
Woody Kincaid is in the
10,000.
Olympics. So
He's in 10,000 or is it a 5?
I just had it. Hold on.
Oh wow, look at you, Gary.
Hold.
We don't have time for this, Gary.
We have all the time.
In the world. Oh,
Uh,
Team Uganda for the tank. Oh, because Uganda's got Joshua Cheptegei, right?
yeah.
Yeah, and Jacob Kiplimo, right? Yeah, I think he's
Yeah, I know
Uganda
it's a
too.
stacked field.
Yeah. I don't think Grant Fisher wins the 10K. I think he might medal, but I don't think he wins.
You heard it here first. Grant
I
Fisher does
I,
not win the 10K.
I think he medals. I mean, I hope he medals. I don't think he medals either, but I hope he medals. All right. All right. So, what's the one thing that's cool? Aaron is not here to take the glory for this, but Aaron came up with the idea for our Runners Anonymous. It's where
Yeah.
we give you as listeners and Instagram followers the opportunity to call, which is to leave PR Project a voice memo and either vent about running, give like a hot take, or ask us a question about training. And I think Gary, you have some queued up that we've had for a bit. So if you listen to this, you're like, dang, I got a question, or I got a hot take, or I got something I want them to talk about. Jump over to PR Project's Instagram and leave us a voice memo. If you want to leave your name, it's not anonymous
Right.
anymore. If you don't, we won't expose you unless you say something like crazy. All
All
right,
right.
go.
Let's see what we got here.
Turn it towards the microphone.
I want to know the difference between overtraining and general fatigue.
Ooh.
Oh,
Did you catch that?
this person said they want to know the difference between overtraining and general fatigue.
Yeah.
I don't really know like the difference, I guess. Like, I mean, one of them is, I mean, I think general fatigue. Okay, I'm sorry. I think general fatigue, managed well, can play to your benefit because like the part of the program that most, I think, Luke Humphrey calls it cumulative fatigue,
Yeah.
which is where you slowly ramp your body into this point of like fatigue where you're still pushing through long runs, you're still pushing through workouts, you're still able to perform, but you're doing it with a maintained and it's slowly adding this level of fatigue until you hit that like certain point in the training block where you're able to come down because of taper, and then you like super compensate and then you're ready for race day.
Yeah.
Overtraining, I think, is almost the same thing, but not as calculated. So to a point where it's you're too fatigued at the wrong spot of a training block, and there is no like plan for you to like level down. Like
Yeah.
Joe's doing something right now that we don't do is like he's like 60, 70, 80, and it kind of like goes, he does it that up and down. And even though it's different from like the way we've done it, like there's a method to like dropping down, right? Like getting tired, dropping back down, kind of recovering, going back up. Like you have to have a plan. You can't just be like, you can't be dead tired and fatigued with 10 weeks left and you're only going up in miles and workouts from here. Like there is no sight of, it has to be planned.
Yeah. I think when it comes to cumulative fatigue, and when you're deep in the training block and your legs are tired, your body's tired, you're still kind of hitting your workouts the way you're supposed to be. Whereas,
Hmm.
general overtraining, you're not hitting anything. You're
Mm.
not. You're everything's an easy run. You're pushing off your workouts because you just don't have it in you. Like you're just not able to get up and get out and go the way you want to. Like your body's just telling you you got to rest a bit more versus, like I said, cumulative fatigue. You're tired, but you're still hitting your training the way you're supposed to be hitting it. You're still getting plenty of rest. You're still ready to taper and make sure you take advantage of that taper, where the taper is going to be a good rest to prepare for the race versus resting just to get out of bed and go.
Right.
That's how I would answer that question.
Yeah. I mean, I think general fatigue is potentially a positive. Overtraining is just never good.
Yeah.
Because you have to like almost like hard reset. I don't know if I've
Right.
been there or not. I think I was getting close with the travel. I don't even know if I was overtrained, but I think I was like over traveled. I was over something. I wasn't just
Yeah.
I was like mentally and physically probably like too far a certain direction. I had to like swing back. But
Yeah.
yeah.
I think you were mentally overtrained.
Yeah,
Mentally
yeah,
fatigued.
yeah, for sure. I got another one. You ready?
Yeah.
Thank you for that. So we're doing one more Runners Anonymous. Do you have another one?
I have another one from the same anonymous, but I think we're gonna wait for the full group.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, cool. All right, so I got one here. We'll just hit play on this one.
No shoe review should ever be done on a shoe that hasn't been run for at least 50 miles, period. End of story. I don't care how many shoe reviews you've done in your life, or how many different shoes you've worn. If you've only worn a shoe for 20 miles, it's ridiculous to do the shoe review. You just simply don't know enough. And there's businesses out there that have literally built their entire model on putting 20 miles on a shoe and reviewing it, and now are a staple of our community, and it's absolutely ridiculous.
Hot. You heard it? Oh,
Yeah.
hot take. I'm gonna start with let me start there because I have a lot of shoes and I have the tendency to like today I ran in a shoe and I gave my like first thoughts on the shoe. But I try my best to never like say, oh my gosh, this shoe is amazing, blah blah, or this is that, or here's what it is, and this is what it's for, and blah. I try not to get too into the weeds with that.
Yeah.
Because like the likelihood of me ending like, because I'm so fickle when it comes to shoes, really, like the likelihood of me getting 50 miles on a shoe, there's only a few shoes that make it to that point, and those would be the ones that I could be like, I'll tell you everything about this shoe, you know.
Yeah.
So I try my best to like, we get shoes a lot, so I try my best to say like, here's what I like about it, here's what I loved about it in these first few runs. I don't think that me or we necessarily like carry a like this sort, like we're not like the shoe review gang, you know. So I see what he's saying because there's so many different things. I don't know if it's 50 miles because I don't know what my difference would be in a shoe after 3 runs versus like 8 runs. You know, I'm not really sure like where I'd be like at the 9th run. I'd be like, now I could talk about it. You know, I don't know, but
I've been to the
I definitely feel it.
You've talked to me. You and I talked about this where I've come around like the first couple of shoes, a couple of runs I've run in a certain shoe or whatever. I'm like, these aren't for me.
Yeah.
And you're like, no, keep wearing them. Just
That's
put
true.
some
True,
miles
true.
in them. Let them let them breathe a little bit.
Break in.
And
Yeah.
I've come around on them quite a bit. So I think first impressions are one thing. Like if you're a shoe reviewer and all you're saying is this is my first impression, that's fine. But if you're a real shoe reviewer, I think Anonymous is right. Like you should put some real miles in there, you know,
Yeah.
because your first impressions versus miles 100 or beyond are going to be completely
Mhm.
different. You know, there's going to
Yeah.
be a reason why you're reaching for that shoe each and every time versus
And
you wear it a couple times and you're done, you know?
yeah, and I guess yeah, because when I think of shoe reviews, I mean, I think we do them like in a light way
Yeah.
and just kind of like share our thoughts on it. But if you're a shoe review organization or like a platform or Instagram or whatever or YouTube, I think that I guess you do have to have there's some due diligence, and I think that is miles, you know.
Yeah.
And like, because like you said, like you could love the DV8 Nitro 3 and love it the first 3 runs, but then as it breaks in, you could not like it anymore because it's too soft. And you know, okay, well now I have a different opinion on this shoe, and I already did my review.
Yeah.
So I think And now that we're talking about that shoe, I think that that's why, because the foam is kind of bouncy. I think that's why they got the plate in there, because I think that this is the type of shoe that would maybe break down too much, because it is a soft, bouncy shoe. So I could see that, like, so on the good side and bad side, because I've heard people that like will put on the Adidas Adizero or Boston 10s or 12s or whatever. I've heard people put those on and just hate them. But then like 30 miles in, people at Adidas have told me you have to run at least 30 miles in these
Yeah.
shoes, because the way the foam works, it has to break in, which to me is like in the middle of a training block. I can't do that. Like, cause if I don't like a shoe on the first, I just can't do it. I'm not gonna review it and say it's a crappy shoe either. I just don't like it, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah, and we
But
talked about this the last training block where, like, I think Alan sent us the hype monster, hyper.
Cloud Hyper,
Yeah,
Cloud
and
Monster
I
Hyper,
wore it on a training run, and I realized this is not the time for me to test the shoe out. I gotta wait
yeah,
until after I'm finished this block to put some serious miles in.
hmm
Even now, because I'm not really training for a race, I've been wearing shoes that I had not worn before,
yeah,
pulling them back out and enjoying them. Whereas I wouldn't have enjoyed them during a training block because for instance, they were regular trainers,
yeah.
minimal foam, not what I needed at the time. But now I'm like, these are great, and I'm putting more miles in there where I'm not like telling people, no, this is a terrible shoe, because I'm not in the right frame of mind to talk about it.
hmm Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, and then like Maurice said, some shoes don't seem to break in until you put some mileage in them. And yeah, I think it's and then Tunde just said I just came around to the New Balance RC Elite 3. Took me almost 60 to 70 miles. It's I think a lot of ways it's not fair to the brand to I think to fully review, if you're a shoe reviewer, to fully review a shoe and give your full opinion on a shoe, whether somebody should spend their money on it or not. Because then like you're like, yo, I hate this shoe. But then if you wore it long enough, you might come around to like actually it being a staple in your thing.
Yeah,
Or if you're too hasty and you drop a shoe, you got 20 miles in it or 2, 3 runs, you may say, I love this shoe to death, but then we also got to remember that like not everybody has the privilege of having a bunch of shoes on their wall, and some people are only going to be running in 2 to 3, 4 pairs of shoe or one pair of shoe sometimes.
right.
And you can't go on a review of somebody that did 20, 30 miles in a shoe that's just like, oh, I love this shoe, it's amazing, and now you got 150 miles on a shoe and it's the opposite of what this person
Right.
reviewed.
Completely
So
broke down. It's a
yeah,
crap
yeah.
shoe. You had no idea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I think it goes both ways. Like, it could be good and like good for the brand, bad for the brand, good for the people, bad for the people.
Yeah.
But I guess I see what he's saying though, because if you're a full shoe review establishment, whatever he called it, I think the due diligence is to drop a few more miles on it before you like jump out the window and review. I mean,
Yeah.
because I think the problem is I think there's a whole politics behind like the shoe review game, because some people, the shoe reviewers that are like prominent in the industry, like they want to get the shoes before they come out, so they can have time to put that many miles on a shoe to give a good review. But if you're sending, like part of the shoe review game is having the newer shoes, is having like making a video that gets some traction, because it's not a shoe that's been out for 3, 4 months or whatever. it's
Right.
it's a shoe that's fairly new. Within a week or so you already got your 30, 40, 50, 60 miles on it, and I can now review the shoe so that these people, whoever's watching this, can maybe go out and buy it while it's new. So it's like, if you're getting a shoe a week or 2 days before it drops or it's available, there's pressure there to like for people to like get some information out so that they have a video that people want to watch, and it's helpful. So I think it's a lot to it, but I hear 100% what Mr. Anonymous is saying.
Hold on, I want to grab this real quick. Maurice asks, is it possible to review shoes where brands are sending shoes or even paying and remain impartial? I can say, I mean, I don't want to speak for you, but we get shoes sent to us, but we're not paid to talk about them per se. We're just test these shoes out. Let us know what you think. You know, do some content on them. But I don't think it's impossible. I think shoe companies really want to hear your honest
Mhm.
opinion on these shoes. And to be honest, I think most of these shoe companies, from what I understand, they already know the positives and negatives of these shoes before you do anyway. I mean, we're
Mm.
getting shoes that were 3 years in the making. They're already working on like versions 3,
Yeah.
4, and 5 down the road anyway. So I think if you're honest about it, and I think they respect that.
I think that like I've never like actually just like just said I don't like a shoe. Because there's not to like call out names or whatever, like believe in the run. I think that they're a good example of the to answer this question. They
Yeah.
get shoes sent to them. They're not spending money on those shoes. And they also have relationships with brands where they do events and they get paid to do those events. They don't get
Right.
paid to review shoes, but they get paid, I would assume. I'm not like dealing with their contracts, but I would assume that they get paid to do some of these events with them. But then you can go to a thing, and while they're doing an event, this long relationship with one brand, you'll go to their Instagram or their YouTube and they'll say, I hate this shoe. I think
Yeah.
it's blah blah blah, whatever, and it's
I mean, they're
stupid,
nice
whatever.
about it, but
I mean,
they're not.
I mean, sometimes they're not really,
But
because
they're
it's like,
not
yo,
like
what are you doing? Like, but I think that there's that way, but then there's also, I think Kafuzi is a great example too. He gets shoes sent to him. Sometimes he buys them if he doesn't have a relationship, but if they're sending him, they don't pay him to say whatever he's gonna say, and he may not say I don't like this shoe. He just says this shoe doesn't work for me. Here's why. But then here's if you're looking for boom, 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 this is the shoe for you. I think there's a holistic way to like to review a shoe as well that without crapping on it, because
right.
some people I may be like, this is a terrible shoe. It's so firm, blah blah, and then someone's like, oh, firm. I love firm shoes,
Yeah.
So it's like I don't unless the shoe fell apart on like the second run and you were really only running normal pace and it's just like the sole falls off, it's like okay, now we got to talk about something. But or if it just feels like it's a brand that just kind of threw some stuff together and whatever, then you could do whatever. But I think that all these shoes have like this shoe, for instance, like the Saucony. I have not put 20 miles in this shoe. I'm gonna let you know this right now. But I think that this, for me, the Saucony Endorphin Pro 4, for me is not like would not be my choice to race a marathon in. But I think that I would I'm gonna run a bunch of miles in the shoe. I'm gonna do a bunch of long runs or even some interval workout. And I could also see that being a shoe where this isn't even talking for me. This could be a shoe for someone to say, like, you know what, I want a shoe that I can do some easy runs in, some more like tempo type work, and then also race a few races in. I
Yeah.
want one shoe that can kind of do it all. This would be a shoe for them,
Yeah.
because I don't have to run 50 miles to know that shoe is a good option for someone that wants something a little more versatile, spending some good money,
Right.
but you're
But if you
also
only, yeah, exactly. If you
yeah,
only had money for like one shoe,
if you're buying an Alpha Fly, you're not running easy runs in Alpha Flies. Like, I
right,
mean, some people do, but it's not the most comfortable shoe to do that in.
right. It's like that's
Um,
not what it's built for.
yeah, yeah. So like I can say I don't like that shoe for this, but I see what I could see that would be if someone said what one shoe should I buy, a super shoe, if I want to do that and do other things with, that's gonna be one that I'm gonna say, you know. And you can review a shoe in a way of like not like trashing it, but I wouldn't have that in my top three for like marathon race day shoes for me,
Right.
you know. But
Well, speaking of shoes, we got one
shoes,
more to give away.
one more giveaway, one more giveaway. All right, Summer Speed. This is the final giveaway of the day. We've given away 2 already. Congrats to the folks that have already won a shoe today. Let me do the present. Thanks so much for tapping in, guys. This is great. The turnout was cool for a Saturday night.
Yeah.
Here we go. You ready, Gary?
All right.
All righty,
Let's
Gary.
spin it. Spin the wheel, make the deal.
Spin the wheel, make the deal. Wow, you're crazy.
You're crazy.
Oh, Dan, the
Oh,
man.
damn.
Is
All
that
right.
Swedish? Is that Swedish Dan?
Yeah, it is.
Swedish Dan from we see him at Run for Brews on Mondays a lot. Swedish Dan, you have won a pair of shoes.
I see him at one for
Congratulations.
Blues and at the front and at the front of races. He is
Yeah,
He wins.
He beat me last year in the 10K, and I was pissed about it.
He ran a 440 mile at the Clausen.
Did he?
Yeah, 440 mile at the Clausen 1 mile race at the
Mm.
4th of July.
Well, congratulations, Dan. You'll be able to grab some Puma DV8 Nitro 3s to test them out. Once again, thanks and shout out to Puma for powering the Summer Speed. If you're watching this or listening to it and you are not part of the Summer Speed, I think we're gonna have to cut it off soon, Gary. But maybe a couple more weeks, you can sign up over at Strava. Make sure you follow the directions on Strava. If you don't know how to get to Strava, our Strava Summer Speed page, go to either one of our profiles, especially the PR Projects Instagram, and click the link. It'll take you to the thing. You can ask to be invited, all that stuff. Join us. It's fun. Make sure you get a couple races in. We got Twilight 5000, or I got Twilight 5000 next week. You, me, Aaron are going to be emceeing the event with Knox Robinson from New York. So that should be a fun experience for us. I'll be jumping in a race. I'm going to do something. I'm not going out in the last group, Gary. I'm not getting dropped again.
No, I wouldn't do that again.
No. I'm gonna jump in a group that I can hang out with for a little bit.
I will say though, if you're in the Detroit area, come on out. We're at Tom Adams Field, Wayne State University in Detroit. If you're racing, awesome. If you're not racing, come out because the vibe is awesome. We're going to be on the track cheering for these runners, many heats. But as the twilight hits, it's just these guys are fast. These guys and girls are faster and faster and faster, and it just gets hype. And we're going to have a DJ there. Are we having a DJ there, Tommy?
DJ there.
We have a DJ there. Tommy, Aaron, and I, and Knox are all going to be on the mic, letting you guys doing the play-by-play. We're going to be, like at Tommy said, emceeing the whole evening. It's really going to be a blast. You all should come out.
Yeah. So come out. Yeah. Like you said, if you're not going to be racing, just pull up. It's fun. You don't have to sit in the stands. Like the crowd can come on down on the track and on the infield to have food and drinks and stuff like that. But it's a 5K race, but the more people that sign up, the better, because the more people that sign up, the bigger and more like inclusive, I guess. Like
the more heats you'll be able to have, so you'll be able to run with people who are your speed.
Yes.
So the more people will sign up, the more heats we can do. Therefore, you're going to be running with people who you can literally race them and not have to worry about like getting lapped or whatever. You're going to be in the thick of it, racing against people who are
and if you got like a friend that if you got a couple friends you run with, and they're like, hey, let's just jump in this race, you guys can sign up for the same wave and run the race together. It's such a fun vibe. It's a kids race. Sign your kids up. It's awesome. It's awesome. It'll be a really fun night. It was really great last year. They did two, one in Detroit, one in Ann Arbor. This year it's just Detroit, so hopefully those two crowds come together. Thanks so much for. Did we forget anything here?
I think we had a good show. I think the people got what they needed.
Okay, as long as you guys got what you needed, I'm happy, guys. But honestly, if you're listening to this on the podcast platforms, please subscribe. If you are listening to this or watching it on YouTube, subscribe to that as well. And if you're doing one or the other, go back to each other one and then do the subscribe thing on both. We want to have some cross-pollination of everyone. But then also make sure you follow us on Instagram so you can get new news and things like that when we're changing show times and stuff like that. Oh, the reason why it's on Saturday today is because Nike and Tommy Runs are doing an event tomorrow in Detroit. So thanks so much for bearing with us with this time change and date change. Shout out to Aaron, who's out there perusing the streets of the Paris of the Midwest. And I think that's it, guys.
Thank you so much for coming out.
Peace out to everyone. Peace out to everyone. Go Olympics. Call Roger Federer right now.
I'm on it. I'm gonna copy